Hello everyone, welcome back. For those of you watching this video in a timely manner, Happy New Year's, but whenever you're watching it, I hope that you're having a good day. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about the Locrian mode and how to use it to add color to either a major solo or a minor solo. The Locrian mode box, especially in this red, blue, green system, is perhaps the most colorful and melodic of all of the boxes, and I'm going to break down why here. So what is the Locrian mode? Let's start off with that. If you remember the mnemonic device from the last lesson, I don't freaking like modes any longer. This is the longer part. It's the 7th degree in the scale. It is the T in our do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do sort of scalar system. And to a certain extent, I like to think of that 7th degree as the mathematical remainder to the long division that is the diatonic scale. That's a little bit heady. That's more for the music nerds out there listening. The 7th degree is also known as the leading tone. And what that means is that 7th degree has an unbelievably strong relationship to the tonic in question. So if I play, like, let's say a bar chord here at 5, that's A major. Oh, let me get my amplifier up here. If I play a bar chord here at 5, and I play that G sharp, that's at 4 here on the E string, that wants to lead back into that E, or into that A very clearly. And that's also kind of the backbone of those older style rock songs as well. That's why we call this the leading tone. If I play a scale, if I just go up, that note wants to go home. I'm actually reminded, as we're at this point in the lesson, of the old joke about how do you drive a musician crazy? You go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Right? That's the leading tone, essentially, in the form of a joke here. Now, the 7th degree in our scale is really powerful when we are breaking it back down into kind of my North Pole, South Pole conception of the tonic and the dominant chord, so that 1 to 5. As we just discussed, that G sharp, that leading tone, wants to go back into the tonic. But this note is also the 3rd degree, or the thing that makes the dominant chord dominant. So this has a very strong relationship with both the dominant note and also the tonic note. It makes it a really great candidate to do a lick on in either a tonic context or a dominant context, and it'll add melodicism into your playing here. What's great about this too in terms of orientation is if I know I am in the key of A major, as we just discussed, my Locrian box is going to only be 1 fret behind. So if I'm starting here at 5, my Locrian box is going to be here at 4. Conversely, if I'm doing this in a minor key, let's say I'm doing F sharp minor, doing something like that, right? You might start off with your minor pentatonic here too. But your Locrian box is going to be just 2 frets up. Very easy to transition into as well. We can think about that 7th degree. It does get its own dedicated chord as well. It gets a diminished chord. So if I'm playing like A, this would be getting a diminished chord to result back home here. But a lot of times, I tend to observe that 7th chord, when it's employed, especially like in a major context, is really just kind of functioning as an inversion of the dominant chord of the 5 chord. Don't get too worried about that. When it needs to make sense, that sentence will make sense here. Let's get into the actual boxes here on the Locrian mode before I cut you loose and just let you shred away on this one. There's not a lot more to say. Other than, like, we probably aren't writing in a Locrian key because we don't have a perfect fifth here. If we were going to have a perfect fifth, there'd be like a dot right here. This is not handwriting class. Going into the long list of things that this is not. And we don't have that. We actually get this tritone interval, which makes it very hard to say I'm writing something in a Locrian key, because you have to start off on a diminished chord and then resolve it to a tritone chord. And I mean, I guess if that was your chord progression, G sharp diminished to D9. Say that's Locrian, I guess. I don't love that, but if you wanted to like dazzle your friends and say, no, I got a Locrian bridge, I guess you could get there doing something like that. Most of the time, though, you're not really thinking about the Locrian as its own discrete thing, but rather as an expansion. If I'm on the tonic here, and I start on that leading tone, I'm invoking a major seventh chord, which is super pretty. That leading tone sounds super awesome. And at the risk of sounding like Rick Beato here, I'm going to make a little risk Beato, if you will. When I go up to the Locrian here from my F sharp minor here too, I'm starting on Rick Beato's favorite, that minor ninth. So the best way of thinking about this is the Locrian mode adds those really nice jazzy color intervals that very often we're seeking and are very often available to be added on top of whatever the music is, especially if the music is doing more power chord oriented things here. So we've got two different boxes here. I don't know why I posted, actually it's the same box posted twice, which for greater efficiency. Yeah, no, it's the exact same box. So observe this here, just some quick notes. You'll note that when we get onto the top two strings here, we actually basically are just spitting back out into that major red pattern here. So this really is an adjunct scale to get you from starting on the fourth fret or whatever fret you're at to getting back into actual root position here. Other than that, it's really easy to remember too. I kind of think of it as sort of an inside out major scale. Instead of going red, red, blue, blue, green, green, we're going blue, blue, green, green, red, red. So I feel like ergonomically, if you've been practicing that basic diatonic pattern that we discussed in the first lesson, this is a real easy thing to add on mechanically. We're not reinventing the wheel today at all. But I think as you pepper this in over your practice tracks here, you're going to have tremendous success getting more melodicism and more sort of intelligent sounding lines. I could break down the deeper theory of why this trick works here in a different lesson, but I'll end it with this. Part of the reason that this box works so nicely is that we never start any string on the fourth interval. So it's actually going 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 across the top strings. Again, for some people that's not going to mean anything, and that doesn't have to. For those who are interested in the deeper theory as to why does this box work so well, you're not leading off your phrases on the 4, which tends to be the weakest of all the intervals. So this ends up being a very nice way, a very cozy place to put your hands to get a nice lick, or as I am wont to do, I use this box to think of where I want to go next, because I know when I'm in this box and I'm just kind of meandering through it and riffing, I'm going to be in a nice, safe, melodic lane that's not going to expose me if I'm only there for about 5 to 7 seconds in a lick. Anyways, guys, I am going to be setting up the Patreon like today after I get done posting these videos and editing these videos. So be on the lookout for that Patreon link. I would love to have some of y'all as students. I'm happy to have all y'all as subscribers. Please leave a like if you like the video. If you don't like the video, go and make one yourself. Have a great day, guys.